play cribbage all night. Hey baby, you can have whatever you like. I said you can have whatever you like. Yeah.
Welcome
Whose
to the
idea
Oh
was
So
that?
That's all Dan. That's
all
everything about
Sunny.
this was Dan.
Yeah.
Dan makes this show the ridiculous thing that
Oh.
it is. Between the Toretto meter and the open mic intros and sports and he's a genius.
Thank you.
Yeah, want to talk about that? You want to tell us how you came up with this stuff? It's open mic night. Anything goes, man.
Yes.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, we could talk whatever we like as
What's your process in making these things? How do you decide what's like funny, what fits the theme of the show, or are you just trying to mess with us?
it's a little bit of all of those things. Like I think it's at this point it's well established that when I write the quick hit scripts and I always plant a few like tripwires, I like to call them, and see if you guys just kind of read it and then catch yourself and send me the clip to like put into the final video, or sometimes you guys have hilarious reactions as you read it for the first time and then that becomes part of it. It's fun. I think our brand of humor is self-deprecating, but it's also, we have fun with it. It's
I love
keep
it.
it loose,
Yeah.
You mentioned Vin Diesel and the family in this week's quick hits, and
Yeah.
to the point that I just read it and I was like, Dan, just roll the clip. I know this is just a moment for it. I gave you a specific cue. Play it.
There you go. Well, you didn't have to because I would have done it anyway. Much
Exactly.
better.
Turn your back on family.
Just like I know you're so busy as well. That's another thing. You're so busy. How do you have time to just come up with this level of like
You know what else I will say? I thought I was being clever when I referred to the quick hits as the crick hits because every time we have a joke that doesn't land, he puts the sound of crickets in there, and I thought, well, if he's already going to put them in there, I'm going to call them the crick hits. And I was expecting just the noise, and of course I go, yep, them's the crick hits, and he takes a bunch of little bugs and animates them to fly into my mouth to make it look like I've eaten bugs. For the record, internet, I don't eat bugs. I am not some bug-eating man. I will never be a bug-eating man.
we don't know that, guys. We
I
don't
know that for sure.
It's like you sounded like John Oliver there. It's
The footage was edited.
It's you just reminded me of that John. Whenever he brings up Ted Cruz, I don't like that man. I don't want to like I don't eat bugs. I am not a bug eating man.
I'm not a bug-eating man.
He had the obsession with Adam Driver too.
I
Have you guys
don't
seen that?
have that.
Oh,
He would always just like make very sexualized jokes about Adam Driver, but like in a funny way. And then one day, like one show, he just gets like a FaceTime from Adam Driver, and he calls him out for it. He's like, "Hey,
oh
what's up with
yeah,
that?"
yeah, John Oliver.
It's
It's hilarious.
so-
Yes.
It's hilarious.
I was lost. I'm like, wait, who are you talking? Are we still talking about John Oliver?
Yeah. Are you guys fan of it?
Of John
Fan of
Oliver?
him?
Oh, I'm a huge fan.
I liked him when he was on The Daily Show, and I liked him in The Love Guru. I'd never really watched Last Week Tonight.
You would enjoy that, which
think
is
so?
yeah. I think it's your cup of tea.
Speaking of
I mean-
crickets,
There we are. Oh, here's an instant replay.
Oh.
Yum, 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 yum. Yeah, it's fake. This is deep faked. I didn't eat crickets.
Oh.
You might not be able
Wait.
to tell. Those are actually animated cartoon crickets. Wow, how
Damn.
many times are we going to watch it?
sorry, Hey, by the way, remember, I think I snuck them in the next time around too. Like you
Oh,
did
great.
2 weeks in a row, and then
Did you sneak them in a second time?
Oh,
Oh,
there
man,
it
I
is.
totally missed that.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
It's
Yeah,
like an Easter egg. Love that.
yeah, quick hits with Easter eggs.
Well, the cricket.
Yeah, another great reason to watch and pay very close attention to Oh So Curious. We do all.
Mm.
Are we talking about bidets today?
What?
I'm sorry, I caught the lower
Oh,
third
bidets.
graphic.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Bidets.
that's still in there. Sorry, I just saw the graphic. Yeah, Roland's not here. I think he's the
Yeah.
only bidet user in the group. I I found the when you guys were talking about it, you're like you try the bidet once, and then you're just the man who uses the bidet. Like
By
it's
the time is yeah, second time you use a bidet, you're a bideter.
bidet.
Okay, I'm googling bidet. Are we
Oh,
are
careful.
we talking about what I think we're talking?
Make sure you look up a video.
Yes.
Wow.
What'd you
We used
find?
to have one of those in our like in the
Does it,
house, and
do
I
you
never
have
knew what. We used to have them. Like I remember as a like little girl when I yeah, we used to have them. But no, they
There you go.
don't come very often. I never knew what they're for.
would you like to find out?
I know now. I'm a big girl now. Oh damn. How
Yeah,
do I even want to know how you guys ended up talking about midday?
I forget. I think
You were on that
Roland
episode though. Remember, Max?
was
It was
I?
in. They first brought it up during the pre-show, and then we were like, "Hey, so what's everybody been up to?" And then Roland's like, "Well, I tried the bidet," and then Andrew were just like, "What?" And then we just like had a 20-minute tangent talking about bidets. That's kind of how that
I don't
conversation
think
went.
I was part of that, but that's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah.
Um, Store the Snyderverse, family, and random stuff.
You shouldn't have said that.
I don't have
Why
friends.
Snyder?
I got family.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got that's a great way to just like pivot
It's
to a different topic. I love it.
reminiscent of Pee Wee's Playhouse with the secret word.
Mm.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I just wanted to run this thing by you guys. I brought it up earlier, and I don't think we really addressed it. But since we're on the, on the topic of family, we might as well talk about what's been going on with the movie that's all about family.
Oh yes.
Mm.
So I did want to ask you guys, what have you been following this story where Justin Lin quit the movie like a week into production, and the
I've
man
seen
has
little
done
things about it.
just, huh?
I've seen little things about it, but what's the deal?
So Justin
What's
Lin,
his
who
name, by the
directed,
way?
sorry,
Lit-
come again?
What? How would you pronounce his surname? Because you included him in
Louis
the group
Leterrier.
channel.
He's French.
Leterrier.
Yeah,
I pronounced it well.
there you go. No, it is.
Not bad.
So Justin Lin, who's directed 5 out of the 9 Fast movies, he started with Tokyo Drift, and he's done, I think, like Fast 5, 6, 7, and 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. He did not do F9. Or I think he didn't do, no, he didn't do Fate of the Furious, which is the 8th one, but he did do F9. Anyway, he's done 5 out of the 9 movies, or 10 if you count Hobbs and Shaw. He's done half of the movies in this franchise, and the guy was coming back to do this one, which, by the way, Fast X is meant to be this 2-part movie where they have the 10th one and the 11th one. Then they were gonna at one point film them back to back. I don't know if they're still doing that. But for some
It's
reason,
exhausting.
and as we now sort of know, the reason was it seemed like Vin Diesel, according to a report, would come to set late and would be out of shape and would not know some of his lines. And then he's a producer on the movie, so he has a lot of pull in terms of the creative side. So he would give notes on the script and like
Define
make
out of shape.
changes. Huh? Out of shape?
Define out of shape.
They didn't really
So-
define it, but I feel like all that means is he's not in Dom Toretto shape, like but maybe he's got a beer belly. I don't know. Like he's not in the shape that you'd expect him to be. Like The Rock shows up to a movie set and he wants to be Black Adam. He's like, I don't need padded suits. Just give me something that shows, how much muscle I put on every morning at 5 a.m., 8 hours a day working out. Like he's got a work ethic. And I think that's why The Rock left these fast movies. He's like, I'll do the Hobbs and Shaw. I won't do this because I can't deal with certain people whose work ethic isn't good. He never pointed specifically to
Who's-
anybody, but it's been
who's most
speculated that
famous for,
Vin
like-
Diesel was the one he was highlighting.
But who's most famous for like a notoriously bad work ethic?
Well, I know on the set of one of the Blade sequels, Wesley Snipes wouldn't even come out of his trailer for a lot of the time, and so they had to like rewrite the movie as they went because they couldn't have the main actor be in some
What?
scenes. His behavior
Wow.
on set was pretty bad, and I think at one point he even like assaulted one of the crew members, and I don't know exactly like what happened in terms of like if charges were pressed or whatever, but so pretty bad behavior,
Jared
and
Leto
Jared
too?
Leto has had bad
Yeah.
behavior.
Yeah.
Who else is out there? Because you
Well,
keep getting them every now and
Ezra
then.
Miller has been
Tom
terrorizing
Cruise?
Hawaii for the last month, so there's that.
Yes.
Wow.
He's been arrested like 3 times, I'm pretty sure. He had a restraining order filed against him. I was like,
Jesus.
somebody get him out of that state. Let's
You
get
know,
him back to LA.
as the I didn't know who he was until I started
Yeah.
seeing those stories. And I'll be honest with you, every time I saw his face pop up, all I could think was he would be a very convincing Elon Musk. He looks enough like him. I was like,
He does.
that movie.
Yeah.
I could see him doing it if you needed. If
When's
looking like the person even mattered, which apparently for Elvis, it does not. I keep
It's
seeing trailers. I keep seeing
yeah.
the same trailers every time I go to the movies.
Yeah.
I'm not at all interested in the Elvis movie, even though I like Elvis. I'm
Do
not
you
at
like
all.
Baz Luhrmann?
I don't. I like The Great
That's
Gatsby,
fine.
but
Interesting.
that
So
looks
people
wrong.
who compare Moulin Rouge and Great Gatsby, a lot of them, they don't like Great Gatsby. They prefer Moulin Rouge.
I did not care for Moulin Rouge at
I
all.
love Great Gatsby, but I also really like Moulin Rouge. But I'm
Fair.
not excited for Elvis either for some reason.
Yeah, and the thing is, like,
But Tom
Elvis
Hanks
is a
is in
story.
there.
Oh yeah, don't even get me started there.
Are you trying to get him
Um,
excited for the movie or to have
yeah.
him run away from the
Uh,
movie?
Wrong, bad call. Bad call to try and get me excited for that with
There he
Tom
is.
Hanks
I see him.
doing a really bad accent, whatever it is. I can't even be too
But
sure.
he's been like his what are they called? His roles recently, they're very diverse. He's really branching out.
He's in the
Yeah.
Pinocchio movie too for Disney coming up.
Yeah.
They're making like
That's
multiple
about it.
Pinocchio movies. He's the one. He's gonna be the person who makes Pinocchio in the Disney version. I forget what the
Geppetto.
name of the character is.
He's gonna be Geppetto.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, day. Oh,
By the way,
wow.
Baz Luhrmann like came out and talked for like way too long at CinemaCon, and Baz Luhrmann's got like a very like specific way of talking. Like he's got an accent, and
Mm.
he just kept like people like wondering, looking at their watches, aren't we supposed to like get to the DC stuff at this Warner Brothers presentation? And like he just kept talking and talking about the movie, but he did say like he did not want to make this movie, and then he found the actor who plays Elvis in this film, and he was like, yes, now I'll make this movie because why am I forgetting the name of the actor who's playing the
Austin Butler.
Elvis?
Austin Butler. He was
Austin
in
Butler. He's
Once
like
Upon a Time in Hollywood.
the perfect, according to Baz Luhrmann, the perfect fit for this role. And until he found that perfect fit, he did not want to even make the film. But the story I
Why is
put
he
up
the
on
perfect
screen,
fit?
huh?
What's so perfect about him?
I guess because the way he described it is he's not only doing a great job of playing the Elvis on screen, he also sang a lot of the songs for Elvis. Like not older Elvis. Older Elvis songs in the movie are still they play the original Elvis recordings, but for when he's playing in the younger Elvis and parts of the movie, he's singing, he's obviously dancing, and as an actor too. So I think he brings a lot to the table, and that's the reason why he really liked the actor.
I feel like I'll end up seeing it because I'm a big Elvis fan, but
Mm.
I don't know.
I'll be interested to see the history. Have you guys ever seen a duo of Frank Sinatra and Elvis? It's a very rare video. It's the most darling thing in the world. Can we watch it, Dan?
The what?
It's essentially Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra, and it's just rare clip of them two. And then you have like this one generation with the other generation performing together at the same time for like just a minute, but it's incredible. Let's watch that. I think it's
I'm
good.
sacrificing the tab that I had open for bidets to do this, so this better be good.
Oh,
Not the bidets.
Sorry, I had to just point that out. They did a duet. We can't really listen to it. I'll put it up. Let's see. Is this Priscilla
that's
Presley?
interview. I think you need to skip it a little bit. A bit more.
I'm guessing that's Sinatra and that's Elvis in the middle.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that's how Elvis used to look. Oh, that's it.
That's the younger Elvis. That's what
Yeah.
they cast Austin Butler to play essentially. Yeah.
See, we were talking about celebrities and attractiveness. I find Elvis attractive very much here. So in this
So you
one.
would say he's a hunka?
He's a
Burn in Love?
hunka in this one. In
Yes.
this video, I think he's a hunka. But so is Frank Sinatra. But
Yeah, I guess he's got that Javier
Twist.
Bardem kind of good looks.
he's just
I don't know if I just
charming.
made a very controversial comment there or not.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah, I guess. Didn't we I think we've done an episode and we're saving it. It's called Can Someone Be Uncanceled? I may need that episode soon. Okay, well there's not a whole lot visually entertaining stuff going on here. He's just wait,
The music
they're
is
zooming in
great because they're singing each other's songs.
at the same time. That would be confusing.
It's like
A medley.
it's essentially a mix. It's like
Okay.
two songs mashed into one, but they performing each other's songs.
That's cool.
That was the fun part, as to like kind of like a little praise to each other's art.
That's neat.
It
That's
really
probably
is.
yeah. That probably got a lot. I mean, it probably hit home a lot more back in its time than it probably does for people today, who most people probably haven't heard a lot of Frank Sinatra and Elvis music unless you
Oh no,
are at Times
that's
Square
like Marvel.
at every New Year's Eve.
Dan, that's
and-
like being marvelized. You're
Huh?
you're not cool if you're not listening to
Oh.
Frank Sinatra.
I've only listened to. I'm not a huge Sinatra fan, and I guess you could say I am Marvelized. Oh, there it is again. There's Marvel. Look at that. You can't get away from it.
No,
Let's
it's
try to get
more of like
more of the same.
people.
Okay.
People are kind of like, you're cool. It's almost like if you have Frank Sinatra in your playlist, then you're the elite.
I never
you're
got that. The whole idea of people
ridiculous.
kind of judging each other based on what they have in their playlist. I'm like, I'm proud of the music that I listen to because I'm like, that's what defines. Because I think the music that anybody listens to speaks more about who they are as a person, where they come from, and what their tastes are, obviously, than it does about the music. So I never took that as a means to make a statement. I'm like, I listen to music I listen to. You can like it, you can not like it, and that's not really something that concerns me. I'll listen to that music,
Yeah, absolutely.
I think when you look at music and you look at somebody's playlist, what you're looking for is, do you seek out something interesting or unique, or do you just feed what you're given? Because do you just eat what you're, sorry, I just woke up and I haven't eaten. So it's you're looking to see if people have explored and experimented and gone beyond what is just put in front of them. And so if you just listen to what is out on the radio or what's trending on Spotify,
the top 40.
you're listening to what people have paid to have placed in front of you.
Exactly.
And music can really take you places. It can mean something to you, and it can, if you seek out something that speaks to you, it becomes a more enriching experience rather than, you can dance to it.
Yeah, exactly. Do you guys ever find yourself listening to your old playlist and thinking, wow, I was a completely different person? And it's a playlist from 2 years ago, even last year. And I'm like, this is an awful song.
What's interesting is through history, cultures have used music as a way to remember things and as a way to encode information. And even as a method of generating an oral history.
I mean, music is
And
great anthropological records, I think, is one way
yeah,
of describing music.
but
Yeah.
on top of that, like some when there's a certain album by the Shins, "Wincing the Night Away," that came out in 2006. I listened to it constantly in middle school, and it's still some of my favorite music. But when I listen to it, it takes me back to those moments in my life, and it takes me
Yeah.
back to that
Yes.
time. And that's one of the gifts of music is it doesn't matter if you were alive for it, when it came out, but it's when you listen to it, when it was part of your life. It's creates a part of your mind that it constantly takes you back to.
It's like a time travel machine.
It is.
I
We don't
love
have
that quality about
superpowers. We have
music.
music.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I feel like to kind of tag on to what you were saying, Andrew, I'm very at home with who I am as a person now in my life. Like, so I've
Same.
sort of
Yeah.
come to terms with that. I'm like, you can like it, you can not
Yay.
like it, you can poke fun at it, but like I have that level of self-esteem where I'm very comfortable with that. So whether it's a Justin Bieber track from when I was in high school,
Sure.
or if I'm listening to One Direction because I liked one of their songs, or if I'm listening to Tupac or Snoop Dogg or I don't
Jonas
know, like I
Brothers.
don't listen to BTS, but so I shouldn't say that. Or I'm listening to Bollywood music from decades ago, or Bollywood
Yeah.
music from a few years ago, more contemporary, or even music. I was born in Pakistan, so like music from artists from Pakistan. Like I listened to different playlists, and I don't. Yes, I see. Yeah, my taste in music sometimes that comes across. Yeah, my taste in music has changed and
So,
evolved,
what's the
but it
last
doesn't
song you
mean I
have
don't
on
still
your
like those
playlist?
old tracks. Yeah.
Can we check your Spotify's or what's the last song you guys listened to?
Oh,
Uh,
well, last night I was treating myself to something I hadn't done in since college, and that was listen to all of Brian Wilson's "Smile,"
Oh,
which is brilliant work. So that's what I like.
for me, it's
I
like
was.
lo-fi music.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's what?
Mainly. Lo-fi. I was doing work, and it's just this kind of as you do. But like if you play in the background when you work, it just gives you a good vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I should stop that associating music and work. I should just have a moment where I just listen to music.
I think so.
Yes.
I mean, there's
But do you
some
guys find
some
yourself?
music some music is written to be in the background and is
Yeah.
written and is made for dancing but I've found that my taste, the stuff I listen to and the stuff I write, it's like music that you listen to hear everything that's happening, and to battery. Oh, we lost Dan.
Battery. Done.
I'll be back. I'm still here.
Okay.
You can still listen to me talking.
Yeah.
The music of my voice, if you will.
Okay, I will. And the you know when something is written to elicit emotion or to transport you or just to show you what can be done with music, classical music, that's what I'll listen to in the car because I'm just I've become exhausted with pop and pop conventions.
Same. For me, it
Yeah.
was also like bit of blues and jazz in the car. I don't know. I find it very soothing when people are beeping on me too. But yeah, Dan, what about you? What did you last listen to last?
I was listening to some banging Shah Rukh Khan music from the 90s. It's Bollywood. If you look him up, Shah Rukh Khan is like one of the biggest actors like in Bollywood history, and sort of even transcends Bollywood in many ways. Like there's the David Letterman has a show on Netflix called My Next Guest Needs No Introduction. There's a new season of that's about to come out, by the way. But Shah Rukh Khan like came on for one of those episodes, and it's
Oh, cool.
it's one of those rare moments where you see an icon from one industry can interact with another and have just an open conversation. But yeah, it's actually I don't know what movie it is, but there's a Universal Pictures movie which has this exact song that starts off under their logo at the very beginning, and it's very iconic. So I don't know if you guys can even hear that.
Not really.
No, it's not even coming through.
So,
I have this filter on, so the music doesn't come through. But yeah,
Yeah.
the 90s was like his peak of his prime. So growing up, in the mid 90s to early 2000s, that's what I grew up watching and loving. So like when it comes down to a lot of my favorite films of all time, it has that actor in it. So that's part of like my thing. I have a playlist dedicated to just his old school music because he's been acting. His acting career is like 3 decades long now, but I still go back to the first half of his acting career a lot of the time because those are the movies I relate to a lot. Just childhood, the good times, just reminisce. That's again going back to the whole idea.
We don't have superpowers. We have music.
Yes,
Speaking of superpowers
yeah.
and music, just really quickly, do you guys remember that scene in Doctor Strange where there a fight with the music notes?
that upset me.
That was stupid.
I was gonna ask you, what did you guys think about it? Because
I'm like, no Marvel fan can, if you like that movie and that scene specifically, you cannot complain about the third act fight sequence between Electro and Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2 anymore. Because that was far more visually inspired of a sequence when they're fighting in the power plant and all of a sudden Electro starts playing EDM music using the power station fighting Spider-Man. And I'm like, this was way more stupid than that. It's kind of like why I hate long wand fights in Harry Potter movies, because I'm like, there's only so many ways in which you can make it like look cool, like you're doing one of these moves, and I'm like, what the I don't get it.
I just
not
didn't
entertaining.
like the CGI of it. I didn't enjoy. It's like those are musical notation. So like, are you telling me that like Doctor Strange in the middle of a fight is going to make music look like he's going to take care? This attack is going to be a C sharp as notated here. It's like, no, that's not what music necessarily looks like. That's a notation system. What a stupid device.
Yeah. I was like, is this a dance off but with musical notes? I'd rather have a dance off. I would have loved to see what kind of moves Benedict Cumberbatch has in him.
I don't. I would
dance off against himself.
Pass.
That would have been something.
Pass.
Okay. I think we have had enough of open mic night.
Yeah.
We talked whatever we liked for quite a while
That was
there.
fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Okay.
Well,